Hi, today I want to start the development of an app that I planned in a previous video. This will be pretty similar to the day-to-day life of a professional dev, except for the missing meetings. I'll start with the first user story on my Kanban board. I'll build this sidebar navigation based on Figma designs. Here. It's an interactive navigation bar with a design for desktop and for mobile. I'll be using Storybook to document and test this component. And I'll probably also test it with Cypress, depending on how far we get. I'll leave this video unedited for the most part, so you can see the unpolished development work. So you'll probably see me struggle at times. This is part of a series of videos where I'm building an application for my upcoming mock React job program. The idea is that you continue building this app just as if you would be onboarded to your first professional job. If that sounds interesting, check out the link in the description. Now let's get started. First, I open the board again and move the task to in progress. So this is now my task. Let's see what it looks like. So this first part is the user story from the perspective of a user. As a user, I want a navigation so that I can easily find and visit the most important pages. So here's a screenshot of the design. We will directly look at the designs in Figma because this may be outdated. And then we have a list of acceptance criteria. This says implement on desktop as a collapsible site navigation. So you can see when you click on collapse, this will be like in a smaller state. And on mobile, this is an overlay, as you can see here. And it slides in from the left when the menu icon is clicked, and when the close icon here is clicked, then it slides back out to the left. And finally, the current item should be highlighted. Okay, so here are the designs again. Let's start with the development. I set this project up already in a previous video, so you can check that out if it's interesting to you. This is a Next.js application using TypeScript, and we'll build this component with Storybook style components, and yeah, let's get going here. So the first thing, I will create a very classic components folder. This is not my preferred folder structure, but for now, like, you will see it all around, so let's continue with this. In a later video, I will refactor this folder structure to be feature-based folder structure. Yeah, so the components folder, now I will create a new folder for the sidebar navigation. And I'll create my TSX file in here. So sidebar navigation, TSX, and then I'll also have index.ts file, which basically exports the from So let's see, I have Pretty installed on, and it runs when I save my my files. So I think, yeah, I have this sidebar navigation functional component preset. Let me actually, I would like to use functions here. So the sidebar navigation doesn't need any props. And it will return, yeah, that's to be answered. Let's first make a div and then just call it sidebar navigation. So, and here we call it sidebar navigation. Okay, so this doesn't need props. I actually would also like to update my my preset here. TypeScript user snippets, yeah, that's insert snippet. TypeScript, no, that's not it. Configure user snippets, and I have this one here. Okay, so this is a pretty nice tool where you can easily edit snippets that you can then use to create files. Okay, so let's try this again. We'll just copy this one. So now I can run FC and then I can use sidebar navigation. Yeah, this looks pretty neat. And then with when I hit tab, this will jump to the return body. So here again, sidebar nav. It's called like this. So the type, I don't need this at the moment. This is just okay, cool. I would actually also like to use named exports, like this. I guess this is pretty common. So I will use here export function and then remove this one here. Okay, let's try again. FC navigation. Yeah, this looks fine. Okay, perfect. Now, there are two ways we can start testing this component. One would be to have it inside our application. This is of course possible, and we can simply do run dev and now it should run. So we can have check out the homepage here. Yeah, and now inside index.ts we could first we should export this sidebar navigation. And here we can actually probably we can just sidebar navigation, yeah. So VS Code will auto-complete and also auto-import this for us. Now let's see, refresh, and yeah, we have the component here. So this would be one way. If you already work in a larger application, you could also alternatively use storybooks. So this way you don't have, like, sometimes you have a small component that you want to test on a single page, and you don't really want to commit this, you don't want to add a feature flag or something. So you just need a way to test it up front without rendering it in the page. So then it's really nice to use storybooks within the development cycle. So I will show you how this works. So here's a test story. I would simply copy and paste this because I don't know the boilerplate here. So this will be sidebar navigation .stories tsx. I would keep this close to the component. So let's see, we will import the component here, sidebar navigation. And now the component that we want to render, I will call this maybe layout or UI, I'm not sure, it doesn't really matter actually. So UI sidebar navigation, this will be sidebar navigation, and type. So why is this complaining? Type unknown intrinsic attributes. It's probably because we don't have props. So let me quickly explain what this does. I'm not sure if we need the parameters here. Let's keep it for now. This will be the title of the component and the sub or folder where it's grouped inside. And then we always use this template story and export the different scenarios basically. So here in this default we can set different arguments which will be passed to as props. You saw this here, arcs. Here we don't have the different props, so we will only have one scenario. So let's keep it like this. And now I will stop the development server here and start Storybook. So here is my inside package.json. I can find the Storybook script. As I said, I set this application up in a previous video. So if that's interesting to you, you can check that out. Here I can just npm run Storybook, and now this should start. So yeah, this is another window here. I will also open it here. So let's see, this seems to take some time. Not sure why. Here as well, I have this separate window because this is too small to actually have the DevTools open. This is not my usual working setup, so usually I have a second screen where I run the application in the browser window, but here for screen recording I have this new setup. So now sidebar navigation doesn't show up here. I suspect that there's something wrong in the either here or some other settings. So let's see. Yeah, okay. So basically it doesn't listen to these folders. It was only listening to this stories folder. Now I'm not sure if we need to restart. Looks like that. So let's restart Storybook. And for some reason it's still not here. So mdx, I don't have mdx files, but yeah, tsx, okay. Stories.tsx. So this is dot, and then let's say components. So I started struggling pretty quickly. Now it's rebuilding. Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure why this happens. Maybe that's the yeah, okay. Yeah, sometimes this happens. So let me again listen to everything. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So as you can see, here is the sidebar nav. Now we can start developing this feature with Storybooks. I can actually close this for now. This as well. This is the index page, so yeah, I can close this as well, and only keep this open. Now let's see what the designs look like. So we have this navigation bar. Seems to be 280 pixels wide. Let's see in the real designs. Yeah, this seems to be a fixed width. And yeah, so my approach now would just be like first create this navigation container with the correct colors and stuff like this. Then maybe add the logo and then create this these components here. This seems like it will be hard-coded and not dynamic content. And once I have this one here, I will also I will make it collapsible and then move on to the mobile navigation bar. The mobile navigation bar seems pretty similar to this one, except that of course it's hidden. So the container probably can be the same. Let's see here. This is a bit wider, but that's of course not a problem. We can do that with media queries. Yeah, probably this might also be a like percentage. Maybe not. Yeah, so let's start with a container component. I will first check what we already did here. So this is basically some fix the storybook setup, and yeah, that can be ignored. Let me create already a new branch. So now as branch name, I would use something that's like the identifier of the task. So here we don't have a task ID or something. In Jira, usually you have numbered tasks, which can be pretty nice. Here it's simply sidebar navigation. So I will call the branch also sidebar navigation. The nice thing, if you have numbered tasks in Jira, then you could always like you would know which branch belongs to which ticket, and then you can basically like see if this ticket is closed or not, or what kind of requirements were included in this ticket. Yeah, so git checkout means -b sidebar navigation. So I'm on a new branch now, and I will first commit this, fix storybook setup, and commit this. So the rest, I don't think I need to commit anything right now. So here we have the container. Now, what would be interesting to me is I'm really not an expert on this, but accessibility, and I already did some light research here. So here, this seems to be like the kind of specs for accessible navigation menu bar. This is not exactly what I'm looking for here, but yeah, it's very similar. So we don't have this like sub menus, but only the top level menu. Here are a few like definitions, what has to be supported. But yeah, here you can see the role of the like of the element, and then the element should be an unordered list, and the menu item should be a link. So here's an example of some source code. So you have the nav element, then area label, then here's the UL element, the role menu bar, and then the list element. So that's easy enough, I guess. So first we have a nav, then UL, and then list elements. Menu item, so shouldn't change anything basically here. Yeah, it does a bit. Of course, the default styling of the list item. And now we can create an array that contains all of these menu items. Actually, I guess I said that I wanted to start with a container, right? So anyways, I will first do the array of the data structure basically. And this might include an icon, then the name, and menu items, and then the link target basically. So menu items, and then we have title or text, I'm not sure. So projects, I guess, was the first one. Then we have the icon, which I will leave empty for now, and then let's call it null, it's a bit better. And then the target href, I'm not sure. Which for now I will just leave it on this page. So now we have issues, alerts, users, and settings. So Pretty did already the formatting job for me. So issues, alerts, user settings. Users settings. And then we have the support and the collapse, but I guess I will just leave it like this for now. So now we will use the menu items array to map, and then item so we have the list item. What's wrong here? Okay. We have the list item and the target, so the anchor tag. And then I use also these. So okay, oh, finally. And then item.text can also destructure here, so this would be text. And then Next.js has the link component, I guess. I can probably also just link, yeah, exactly. And this has the href, I guess. So href and close it again. So now what is it complaining about? Okay, yeah, of course, the key prop. Here it would be okay to just use the index, because this will never the order of this list will never change. So key equals index. You shouldn't do this if the order can change, if this is dynamic content or something, but here the index is okay. Yeah, and now we already have the items here in our list. This also seems to work. So we can later change the href here. And yeah, for now this looks already quite good. Now the next step would be to style this. Maybe we should also have a second UL probably at the bottom, and then like bottom menu items, I'm not sure. And then call this like support and collapse. But I guess these are actually buttons, so let's not do this. So here I will just directly, without mapping over anything, just have the JSX hard-coded. Then this won't be a link, but something else. So let's leave it like this. And then the text is support and collapse. So let's add a commit. So I think it might make sense to commit already. We have the index page, the sidebar, the story, and then the like skeleton of the sidebar. I will just commit these 3 files. The index page doesn't need to be committed yet. And I will call it creates navigation skeleton. Okay. So next I would start with the styling. I will use story style components to style this. You might wonder why I'm not using something like MUI, Material UI, or I don't know, Mantine or another UI component library. The reason is that this design is not really made for this. So from my experience, and as far as I know, also other developers experience this. If you use a UI component library, you can customize it to a certain point, but at some point you will probably run into some components that or like styles that you cannot really customize, and you start fighting the component library. So yeah, here this design is not based on Material UI or another UI library. So I will write the styles myself. And this is also like if you want to continue building this application, it's also nice practice for your CSS skills, and this is like a basic skill for front-end developers in the end. Yeah, so slight detour here, but yeah, let's start with the styling. So we have the container here, which is 280 pixels. And this is nav styled, so yeah, it's imported. And then we just use the nav here. And now we do the styling. So width is, what was it, 280 pixel. Actually, it would be nicer to have this in EM units. So, but yeah, let's keep it for like this for now. And the height will be, for the moment, 100 view height, I guess. So this will cover the whole screen. Let's see how it looks like on the designs. Yeah, so this is the complete screen height. And then the background color, this is gray 900. Let's see how I can find the original style. I guess this here, okay. Or I can actually inspect, so. Okay, we can use the hex. Okay. And then background will be okay, let's see how that looks like. So now I will use this in place of the nav element. Okay, this looks all right. Now the next step is probably, I will skip the logo for now. We can add that later and start styling the menu items. So we have an icon here and the text. I think it might make sense to create a separate component. So let me create one here, menu item.tsx, and then my fc. So we have now menu item, and this will return a list. Actually, I can copy paste this, but so we expect these props, text, icon, href. So this will be, this is now the TypeScript type. This will be a string, text will be a string, href will also be a string, and the icon, this will be a React node, probably React node. So I should probably import this. Oops, sorry. From React. Okay. So now we have the we can extract this just like this, okay. And we don't need the index here. Link, this is, we need to import this again. And href is coming from here, text, href, icon. So we can, the icon should be rendered inside the anchor tag probably, so it's also clickable. Let's see. Okay, we'll leave that for now. And now we can use the menu item here instead. So menu item, and then just remove all the stuff here. Now this is actually the menu item. So item, and then just spread the props here. And yeah. Okay. So this is still working. We don't need the link anymore. So the icon, yeah, we will leave it for now. Now we can start styling this. So we will have const list item. So we could also call it LE, but styled.li, and now the styles. Then we have the anchor tag, const link. This is actually anchor style.a. Yeah, that should be enough for now. And so what's the path ref? Path href is missing. Not sure why this happens. Okay, so probably because I don't use the anchor element here as direct child, it complains. Let's see. So ESLint is actually quite nice because you can directly click on the link to get to the documentation of the warning or error. That wraps a custom component. This is needed in order to pass the href to the child A. So yeah, here's actually directly our example, styled A, and then we should use the path ref. Okay. Didn't know this. So now we can start designing this. So we have this element here, this nav item, and let's check this. So actually here we can see. So we have padding 8 pixels and 12 pixels. The 12 pixels is probably something like this. I'm not sure why this is now 13.5. So 12 pixels is this one, and the content element itself or is this a fixed height? So it's not really clear if we should use padding here or a fixed height. We have a theme here, and actually it's not it. So let's see. this nav item base has a height of 451 pixels, but also uses padding. So should we use the padding here, or rather the fixed height? I'm not sure about this, but probably it's better to use. We can try it out with. Let's see how it works. So display flex, yeah, that's correct. It's not always ideal to just copy paste everything here, but here display flex, we will use it because the icon and the text are next to each other. Flex direction row, don't think we need that. So item center, yes, to center all the items. And now padding 8 pixels, okay. Actually, at this point, it might make sense to export our icons, and we can do so by clicking the this export button here, and then simply export it. Okay, so 3 layers, PNG, this one as well. Okay, I will just leave the names of the icons. Yeah. And then we have these 2 icons here at the bottom. That was one click too far. Now export, and I don't have to. Oh, I just realized that I exported everything as PNG. I want to have SVG. Sorry for that. Oh, I guess I forgot this one. So icon. This is the, I would call it settings icon. SVG. Okay, it's really called icon. Interesting. And SVG again, export triangle. Okay. SVG. And finally, the projects. Okay. And then let me also directly export the logo, since we added export small false. Now this is logo big, large, and then make the logo small here. Logo small. Okay. Now I will create a new folder here inside the components, maybe called icons. Maybe there's a better place for this, but let's see, downloads. So I hope I can simply import those. So here I want to import them. Import. I will rename some of these, and bar chart was issues. Then alerts. Something with warning probably. Setting. I guess I forgot to export the I just didn't find it. Okay. Alert. So and then support. And there was also the collapse arrow left. So here off my screen. Okay, I will keep arrow F left because we will probably need it for something else as well. So project icon from let's see if this works. My hope is that I can simply add it as JSX. So the icon hasn't been rendered probably, so let's, yes. Okay, so we will need some setup. Not sure. Next, import SVG. Obviously, I had the problem already before. Okay, so this is one option. We can use SVGR. Actually not sure because as far as I know, yeah, so Next.js also internally migrates away from Webpack as far as I know. So I'm not sure if I want to use something that uses Webpack. Okay, this is also the same. Maybe it's okay for now, but So alternatively, I could use this, of course. Yeah, so maybe we can stick with this in the public folder for now. I will just move everything here to the public folder. And then let's see. So what we can do is we can use next image. Not sure. We can probably just use this directly, and then I'm not sure if this would. So this actually complains do not use image. Let's see what they say. This image Next.js supports image optimization, but for these SVGs, I don't think we need that. So we can just fix this problem. Okay, so now we will use the icon will be actually a text. Icon path, icon URL, icon source. Let's call it icon source. Then we can F2 for me. We can rename this. This will be a string, and so this should now be as icons, I guess. Right. Let's do that here. Inspect. So what do we have now here? Image doesn't have anything in there yet. Okay. I call this icon and not icon source. So now I hopefully see something. No, not yet. So let's see network. Show. Okay, head throttling enabled. Maybe that's This was so slow, and projects SVG is not found. So we had this blog post here, so iSVG public. Let me check if the icons and then projects. So obviously this doesn't exist. Cannot get, okay. Ah, yeah. Damn, this is of course, we would need the, we would need to serve the files here in Storybook. So this would probably work if I run the next application. Let's see, yeah, so here it actually works, but not together with Storybook. So let's see if there's something Storybook and then public assets. So we can import them like this, serving static files. Yeah, that's basically what I want. Okay, so let's see if that works. Main.js and then static dirs. Okay, it's now rebuilding. Maybe let's try to restart Storybook. Okay, yeah, now finally we have the icon here. So let's see, what did we do here with the icons? I will leave it for now. Let's continue here. So we have the icon, the issues. So there should be a gap of 12 pixels. Yeah. We also don't necessarily want the out here. We should add this according to ESLint probably. So let's see, we have the text and then we can simply run the text and then icon. Should be null. Okay, and then let's add the other icons. This is so we have projects, and then the next one is issues, then alert, and users, and then finally settings, I guess. And then here, okay, we just have collapse and supporting collapse for now. So this is still, this has the wrong color. What we can do is we can, let's see, probably need to edit this. Color equals current color, and what was that? deleted something here. D, okay. Current color, oh, color equals current color, and then we can actually style these. So can use the icon style.img. No, I'm actually not sure. This way doesn't necessarily work. Yeah, probably it doesn't work. Let's see. We have to restart to get the effect. No, still not. Okay, let's see what the others look like. So we have fill and stroke, sorry. We actually don't have white, but okay, so this now works. It looks a bit different, I guess. So it's not sure. Let me try that again. Alert. Okay, I guess I just imported the wrong icon. Now let's refresh. No, it's still the same. So this is current color. Okay, yeah, now it works. Perfect.